As California grapples with an opioid crisis, the state has released new end-of-the-year data showing just how much fentanyl authorities seized across California in 2022. And the numbers are way up from last year. Capitol Correspondent Eytan Wallace gives us a look at what the state is doing to crack down and how top lawmakers from both sides of the aisle are responding.
Well, this should give you an idea of the magnitude of the crisis. The governor says California seized so much fentanyl this year that it's enough to kill all of North America twice. Fentanyl, it's one of the most powerful synthetic opioid drugs around. A chemical cousin of heroin, deemed at least 50 times more potent than morphine, it's a major element in what many have labeled the opioid epidemic across America. Nationwide, fentanyl accounted for more than half of the 100,000 people who died from a drug overdose last year. And in California, it was linked to more than 5,000 of the 7,000 overdose deaths here. But the Golden State is taking action. New data from the governor's office shows law enforcement across California seized more than 28,700 pounds of fentanyl this year alone, representing a 594% increase over how much they seized last year. Governor Newsom credits much of that with $1 billion his administration has poured into addressing the crisis. He also says the hiring of more than 160 California National Guard members to combat this very issue has helped. But at the Capitol, lawmakers say more action is needed.
Making sure that we have strong legislation in place.
New Democratic Assembly member Jasmeet Bains, herself a medical doctor from Kern County, just introduced a proposal to create a state-led fentanyl task force made up of experts addressing the issue every day.
It'll be your prosecutors, law enforcement, addiction specialists to get to the table to properly analyze and give us proper recommendations to the legislature on what we need to do to end this fentanyl crisis.
Per the CDC, pharmaceutical fentanyl is often prescribed by doctors to treat severe pain, while illicitly manufactured fentanyl is usually distributed through illegal drug markets for its heroin-like effect. It's often added or laced to other drugs because of its extreme potency, making them even more powerful and addictive. All traits attracting drug dealers within California and across the U.S.-Mexico border.
So here at the border,
the governor recently traveled to communities on both sides of the border to meet with asylum seekers as well as senior Mexican officials, a diplomatic relationship experts say is crucial in the fight against the opioid crisis.
To control the drugs and the contraband, the human trafficking and things, and that's where California law enforcement certainly plays a role. And I think in that sense, meeting with the governor there in Mexicali was a great first start.
And the Department of Healthcare Services is now making millions of dollars in grant funding available to communities across the state to help fight the opioid epidemic. Reporting here outside the state capitol, Eytan Wallace, 17 News.
For more on the fentanyl crisis, including 17 Robert Price's in-depth series, Fentanyl, the Counterfeit Killer, visit our website, kgt.com/fentanyl.